Okay, and we are live. Hey everybody, Laurel Hall here with Come Cook With Me. I missed you last week, so I just wanted to say welcome for those of you who are just joining us. Remember, one of the very first things that you want to do when you join the show is you want to say hello, and you want to just add a comment below where you're hailing from, because remember, at the end of the show or the next show next week, for everybody who has made a comment, you have a chance to win. And we actually have some fabulous prizes. Let me show you. So the fabulous prizes that you're going to get a chance to win if you comment below where you're from, where you hail from. And remember, we put these in a random generator. So you're going to get the spices from Dano. And we just love Dano spices. So, and if you all know, and you've been following me for a while, Dano has been part of our team. And he's created these non-GMO, just fabulous spices. So you don't want to miss out on these. And if you've been a previous winner and you're watching and you're catching us live, go ahead and make a comment and say how much you're enjoying them, because Dano just loves seeing all those comments. So that's one of the prizes. The other one is, well, I don't have the one that it is, but this is either mocha or the peach mango, because the peach mango was the recent shake that was seasonal, that was set out there. So you don't want to miss a chance on that. And I know, Stephanie, if you're chiming in, and I can't tell if that was you that just said hello, but if you're on, I know I've been talking with you because you've been doing the peach mango and loving it. So, and then we just have a shaker cup filled with some goodies. So those are the three prizes that we'll do random generator. And I'd love for somebody to win. Okay, so today's recipe is so simple. And if you've watched the Come Shop With Me, you saw that I picked up 2 types of chicken, and I'll kind of review that when I show you the marinade. But we're gonna do them in the Instant Pot, and this is gonna be a really fascinating recipe because I haven't done these in an Instant Pot. Mostly I've ever done is I've done them on a traditional baking sheet. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they actually brown up, but we'll see. We'll just, I've got a couple of tips though that, so that they don't stick in the bottom of the Instant Pot. So follow along, you'll see in just a minute. But if you followed the Wednesday when we do the shopping, you'll see that we did a marinade, and I actually posted it, and I'll post it again in the comments below. I'll show you what the marinade was, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you the bag now. So let me go ahead so I can actually see what I'm doing. Put my glasses on. Okay, so in this bag, we have a beautiful, beautiful marinade. I'm just gonna show you. This is best. It can do an hour, but if you take a look at all those great seasonings that are in there, I'll tell you what they all are. But this is actually, I marinated these. I started them last night. But again, you can do it within an hour. An hour marinade is just beautiful. It works either way. But of course, obviously, if you do it longer the marinade, the better. So let me tell you what was in this marinade. Before I actually, I'll show you what the chicken looks like. Before I actually put these chicken pieces, and what they are is they're chicken breasts that are cut in half, they're sliced in half, and I bought them that way as a tenderloin. But the other thing that I did is I took my mallet, I didn't mean to take the mallet away, but I took the mallet and I used this edge, the rough edge, because I wanted to get the chicken breast really tenderized so that it would absorb all of the juices. So you can see how great that looks. So you want to just chop, 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 hit it with the hammer on both sides. And then I just tossed them into the bag. I mean, it was really that simple. Now, if you get a chicken breast and they're not cut in half, it's really simple to cut them in half. But what you want to do is when you're cutting them, you want to cut off that extra fat piece, okay? So that's one of the things you'll trim up. And again, you can do this, you can get them an hour ahead of time. Really, it's going to be good. But if you do just an hour ahead of time, one of the tips that I'm going to have you do is you'll use a little extra lime juice. So let me go ahead and share with you what's in the marinade. We started off with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And then we put some limes in. I always say that. But yet we put limes in. And remember, when you juice a lime, what you're gonna be doing is you'll be cutting it in half. I'll just demonstrate so you can see. And these limes, if you saw the Come Shop With Me, these limes, they're just so juicy. They're incredible. So you wanna just get it cut in half, and then when you're putting your lime juice in, kind of break up the edges around. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your spoon and dig inside and get all of that beautiful, beautiful meat that's in part of the fruit right there. It's just absolutely incredible. And they're so juicy. So a little extra lime juice on these. Yeah, thank you. They're so awesome. Okay, so you wanna just really squeeze that lime out. All right, so once you get that part of the marinade in, then you're just gonna use several spices. And here's what I used. I used the garlic, and I went ahead and used just this garlic because I hadn't done my pre-roasting garlic, which I'm going to show you when we actually fill these wraps up. But this is part of the marinade, just some chopped garlic. Remember, if you're buying garlic, you want to buy the garlic that comes from either Canada or California. It's the best garlic. You know that it doesn't have, well, we went into that before. So just buy from California or Canada. Okay. And of course, those of you who are watching from the UK, you probably have some great places to buy your garlic as well. So I don't know much about them, and hopefully I'll be able to head out there sometime and come cook with you out there. But you're gonna have some cayenne pepper. And again, how spicy you like this is really the most important thing, is you just choose how heavy and hot you want your spices. But I put quite a bit of cayenne pepper in. And I love the smokiness, so we did some chipotle pepper. And remember, if you can go ahead and get non-GMO, you'll see the label, organic, non-GMO, it'll have a special label. We use cumin and some Cajun seasoning. And I did some of Dano's, the red. I used the spicy red. And I used regular hot pepper flakes and then a few chipotle peppers. So this is going to be very spicy. The other thing that I put in, again, you may not want to have the heat that we put in these. So you choose, and maybe you just pick one of the hot peppers, you know. But I also put some fresh cilantro, and I took the stems off, but I chopped it up and I put cilantro in the bag. And I also put in a jalapeno. So I chopped it up, really diced it up really fine. So it should stick. Like, you'll see these pieces as I start to roll them up. You'll see them, they'll just be right in part of the roll up. Now here comes the fun. This is the fun part. So how are we gonna roll these up? Simple, simple, simple. What I've gone ahead and done, I'll share it with you now, is I sliced up some onions. And I did them the long way. So if you take a look at really nice, fine, long length direction. I went ahead and roasted some garlic cloves, because you know this is the best way to, if you're gonna add garlic to a recipe, one of the things I just love to do is to do some roasting in some extra virgin olive oil and just get them so they're almost opaque, and just the smokiness of the flavor of the garlic is just, it's not so tight, it's just warm, it's just delicious. So once they are cooled off, try to find your big thick cloves, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your big thick cloves and you're gonna make really fine slices. So really, really fine. Everything in the roll-ups really you wanna have as fine as you can. So if you can see how fine those are. And again, garlic is going to be a choice. Some people may think, since you already marinated in the garlic, you may not want to add more. Again, it's a personal preference. But the yummy part of it all comes in the wide variety of peppers. And again, what you're going to do, because you're going to roll these all up, you're going to want to have really fine julienne peppers. And I went ahead and took care of doing that so that we didn't have to actually make them. So I have, they're all organic. We have red, yellow, and green. And then I finely sliced a little bit of jalapeno. you're gonna use only one really fine sliced jalapeno in each one. And the other thing you're gonna need to have is some toothpicks. So we're doing this via Instapot as well as a regular traditional cooking and baking in the oven. So in your Instapot, before you actually start to place them in your Instapot, what you're gonna do is you're gonna coat the bottom of this with bone broth. And I love bone broth, but what's gonna be nice is if you keep this coated on the bottom, you're not gonna have any stickiness of the, they're not gonna stick to the bottom. And remember the last time I made lasagna and I didn't coat the bottom and it was a big sticky mess. So hopefully you all caught that on the message that I put down below. So I'm just putting in just a little bit, and you know the bone broth is gonna be good for the juices, even in the traditional, and normally I wouldn't do that, but again, bone broth is gonna be just really a complimentary piece, so the chicken won't get dried this way on the bottom. So I'm just coating the bottom. Perfect. Okay, so now the simple part comes, it's just rolling them up. It's just that easy. So let me grab my ingredients. Oh, and a really good complimentary dish that I'm going to talk about is going to be our salsa and guacamole. And when I put out the information about what the show is going to be, is I put the YouTube recipe below, and I'll do the same thing below here in case you don't have that handy. We'll make it really easy for you to grab. All right, so you're going to just take your first chicken breast, right? And you're going to place your peppers and your onion and some garlic, nicely fine slivers, and one of your jalapenos. And you're gonna just start to roll them up. And you wanna grab a toothpick and close and seal it up. So I'll show you just 1 minute. So I have the toothpick there, and it's all rolled up just like that. Beautiful, right? Yeah. So when you place them on your pan for cooking, what you're gonna do is place them the seam side down. Okay, and that's it. That's how simple it is. So I'm just gonna continue to roll them, and if you have questions, what I'm gonna need to do is put my glasses on and look. If you have questions while I'm doing this. But you can see in the background, I don't know if you can see, I've already made the salsa. I've got some beautiful, oh, I do want to show you this. I got some beautiful avocados for this recipe because that's when we plate it. I'm going to plate it with some side salsa. I'm going to plate it with some black beans, maybe even some refried beans. And I'm going to plate it with some rice cauliflower for those of you who are really looking to not have any rice. And you want it, like my husband, you know, he loves the Mexican rice, so I'm going to go ahead and do Mexican rice for him. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and do the fried cauliflower, and it's the rice. And you can rice your own cauliflower. You don't have to get it in the frozen bag. But because he's coming home kind of late, I didn't want to have everything all. This you want to do as it's ready to go. So you're going to put this in a frying pan and put your salsa on. And it's just gonna rice and fry up really beautiful, just like a regular rice pilaf. So that's how I'm gonna do that. But that's how we'll plate it. And you'll have your salsa and your guacamole on the side. So that's beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing these. And if I see anybody who's joining, if you have any questions, feel free to give some love and tell me what you're thinking about this particular recipe. What I want to show you before I roll this one up, I want to show you how it actually looks. It's so beautiful just sitting here. If you could see how all the beautiful spices are on, just when you use the mallet and you open up the pores of the meat, it's just it just sticks to it. So you've got your cilantro, everything is sticking to it. It's so gorgeous. And so once you get all of them rolled up, you're gonna bake for the traditional. You're gonna just bake them for, at a 375, and it will bake for about 20 minutes. I don't think you'll need more than 20 minutes. And for the Instant Pot, you're just going to put it on the Instant Pot setting for poultry or for chicken. We have fish or chicken or meat. And some of you have the more advanced Instant Pot, so you'll know what setting to put it on. But pretty much that's going to be it. I'm not going to finish rolling these up because that's pretty much the recipe. And I'll go ahead and just finish rolling them up. I will show you what the completed wraps look like at the end when they come out. And I'll show you the plated version of the Instant Pot and the plated version of the traditional cooking. So, who's going to win? This is going to be an interesting competition between these two because I'm not positive how the Instant Pot's going to work, but my guess is that it's going to be so juicy, just absolutely beautiful and juicy. And I have a feeling that because of the way that I marinated them, these will get a little bit more browned in the traditional. So that's my guess. You can go ahead and share what your guess is as well. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to post below where you're hailing from so that you have a chance to enter to win. And I thank you so much for joining us and look forward to seeing you next week on Come Cook With Me. We'll see you later. Have a great weekend, everybody.